Good parenting genuinely makes the world a better place. A well-raised child will go on to make every space they touch safer. A secure child does not know matters as they pertain to love and interpersonal relationships to be complicated. If I like you, I move closer. If I don't like you, I move away. I keep my distance. There isn't a complexity involved. Because of the way they were raised, they think they have inherent value and worth, and they are worthy of love, and they really feel like they can get what they want through honest means and hard work. So a secure boy goes on and he likes a girl in second grade. He says, I'm gonna tell her I like her and ask her to be my girlfriend. There's really no witchcraft involved. It's I like her, I tell her. In the mind of a secure boy, that feels like the right place to start. What does the insecure boy do? Kick Jessica in the shins. The boy that pushes the girl, it's not a secure boy. And some intervention needs to be applied to course correct there. The little boy that starts a rumor that Jessica likes him in order to manipulate her, also not secure. The little boy that passes a note to Jessica's friend, also not secure. The secure boy is just okay with the potential that Jessica might say no. He might be bummed for the rest of recess, but he'll be okay. But one thing is for sure, the secure boy is not traumatizing Jessica, making her first experience something shameful and embarrassing. Now, parenting is extremely difficult, but if you succeed in giving them the proper tools from like 0 to 8, the rest of the work is cut out for you. You have instilled in them the reflexive defense mechanisms that they'll turn to if something doesn't go to plan. And if they don't know how to handle something, they have a foundation of systematic approaches that have worked for other things. And if all else fails, they'll call you. Kids from secure households are not shy to call on their parents for things. But this secure child will promote a better environment for every coworker, every partner, every friend. On average, of course, but these parents are highly effective communicators. They explain things and they make their children feel safe to ask questions and also make them feel like they have a say in their life. First day of school, they've been talking about it for weeks or months. They're saying, oh my God, it's so exciting, albeit maybe a little scary. They're not just dropping off their kid, saying, okay, see you, bye. They're saying, I'll be there to pick you up like we've talked about, and then we'll talk all about your first date. Good parents are preparing you, but they're also tempering the waters. Things aren't this abrupt and shocking and potentially hurtful thing. They don't clear out your entire toy room while you're at school. And then when you come home, all of your toys are gone. No, they're like, hey, we've got a lot of toys in here. Do you think we can choose a few to give to less fortunate kids? And then no one likes that experience. Like if I told you to go to your closet and clear out 10 shirts, you wouldn't want to. But they adapt, they temper it, they support. The kid who has his toy room cleared without his consent or knowledge might become withdrawn or sad, doesn't really know why this happens, doesn't know where to put his emotions. Oh, that's really unfair. But the first kid, maybe he dates Jessica and realizes it's not for him. He goes, okay, I'm gonna have a conversation with Jessica. Even though it's hard, maybe I don't want to, but I know this is something that we do. We have hard conversations. He sits Jessica down, explains, and allows her to say her piece, and just says, okay, this is something that we do for the people in our lives. Kid number 2, maybe he blocks her and says she'll figure it out. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he says, I'm breaking up with you, click. She calls back, says, I don't owe you anything. Hey, I just want to talk. I'm sorry, I told you how I feel, click. Maybe that kid has no idea that what he did was unfair. But maybe he does. Maybe he does. But he also says, you know what? Unfair things happen to me all the time. Or maybe so many unfair things have happened to him that at this point, he doesn't even recognize this as an unfair thing. But now Jessica is traumatized, for sure. And what are you gonna tell Jessica? If he wanted to, he would? No, bro. Someone stole his toys as a kid. That really ain't about you. And that first kid feels the same exact way about Jessica as the second kid does. And in this process, he's not trying to tear Jessica down. He does it in the best way he knows how. And he understands that if she takes it badly, hey, at least I tried and I conducted myself in a way that I'm proud of. He's not like, well, Jessica, I'm great and you are just average. So unfortunately, because I'm better than you, I'm dumping you. That's not a line the first kid would even consider saying, nor would he find the need to draw that comparison. Someone might recommend that to a secure person and they'd be like, no, bro, why would you want to say that? More often than not, when people do things respectfully, it's because they were raised respectfully. You need to promote behaviors you want to see in your kid. And it starts young when you're speaking to them. Mama, you can't do that because you just can't, mama. Or hey, bud, you can't do that. And they ask why, and you say, oh, because it isn't right. And then you negotiate your way to decency in their mind so they have an understanding. They need to understand the values. Correcting behavior is really important. And when they ask why, you have to be patient because they're learning, and it's important because they shouldn't be learning their lessons at the expense of other children. And telling them the truth and telling them things that are hard to hear makes them less sensitive and more prepared for things to come down the line. There are adults right now that cannot be spoken to like adults because they cannot handle feedback without becoming incredibly defensive. Gentle parenting is great, but there comes a time where you need to be able to give honest feedback, and they need to build a tolerance for that, even if it hurts their feelings. They can't believe the world is wrong. It's never you. Those are the kids that feel very entitled to making mistakes at everybody else's expense. They want you to be so compassionate, so understanding that you overlook their disrespect. And if you do bring up their disrespect, they need you to deliver it with an undue amount of consideration. Like a compliment sandwich, or like an apology for even bringing it up, or sorry, I'm gonna bring an unpleasant emotion to your day. The world needs to bend to them. No, you need to check your kid. The home is the first place where you check your kid. If you don't, I promise you, your kid will not be a pleasure to interact with. Maybe superficially, but not in any real sense. Some parents don't do the work, they pass on the buck. Like, it couldn't be my kid. And that child really feels like the issue is not them. And they have humongous victim complexes. Parents excuse their kids all the time, boys will be boys. That is not, and it has never been, an acceptable saying. Boys need to figure out a different way to learn their lessons. It cannot be at the expense of another child. And parents need to explain to their child, you can't do the wrong thing regardless of the outcome you want. And the same thing with girls. You cannot be lying to get your way, manipulating to get your way. Those behaviors are modeled in the house first. They learn it from somewhere. You need to be explaining. You need to get what you want through honest means. Being a good faith actor should be advocated for in the home and stressed as important. Normalize doing the right thing. Oh, I don't know how to get what I want by telling the truth. Okay, well, you gotta figure it out. That's part of it, figuring it out. It's part of making things better for the next generation. Treating everyone well needs to be emphasized. It really needs to be part of the culture for things to change.